Alright, so I'm here for my August book haul. I have a serious problem with not being able to pass up books that are on sale. So the first 2 weeks of August, yeah, there's a lot of books. There's a lot of books. This is probably going to be in 2 parts. We'll see how fast it goes, but we're just going to get on with it. The first stack of books I have is from a half-price books outlet that's about 45 minutes away from me that I did not know was an outlet. Apparently they take all of the clearanced books from half-price books around the Midwest, and they all come to this one area. They were having a 50% off kids and YA sale, and we just happened to be camping in that town that weekend. I couldn't pass it up, of course. So I picked up Bartman, The Best of by Matt Groening. This was not half off because it was a comic, but it was still only $3, and I have a little growing collection of these, so I didn't want to pass it up. I picked up Boy Proof by Cecil Castellucci. I do not read synopsises, so I actually do not know anything about this book. It was just in really good condition, and it's really tiny, so I decided to grab it. I picked up Cloak by Alex Flynn. This is the 3rd book of hers that I own. However, I have only read one, and I don't even own it, and I had it for review, and that was Towering. But this matched the covers of the books that I already owned, so I went ahead and grabbed it for $1. I picked up the 3rd book in the Land of Elion series by Patrick Carman, and that is The 10th City. I bought the first one on clearance at my local half-price books for $1, and I saw this one there for $1.50 and figured I might as well just take it while it was there. And then the last book I picked up there was the unauthorized autobiography of Lemony Snicket. I do own almost the entire series. I think I'm just missing 2 books, and then I also own the Beatrice letters, and I've been looking for this in good condition. And again, for $1, I saw it. I got actually really excited about this, so I had to grab it. Alright, so the next thing I have was, I believe, 2 separate trips to half-price books that week, which is ridiculous, and that concluded a whole stack of books. The first one is Glass by Ellen Hopkins. This is the 2nd book in the Crank trilogy. I have already read this one, and there is not a review up yet, but it will be up this week. I really enjoyed this book. I also picked up Cinema Panopticon by Thomas Ott. I have also already read this, and again, the review will be up this week for it. It is really neat. It's a graphic novel told only in these sketches, and I really, really enjoyed this book. Also picked up The 11th Plague by Jeff Hirsch. My husband, I believe, is reading this book. He said it was okay. It doesn't look like he's gotten very far into it yet, but I know this is a post-apocalyptic type book, but I'm not exactly sure what it's about. I picked up Friends with Boys by Faith Erin Hicks. This is a graphic novel, and I picked this up based on a recommendation from, oh, what's her name on YouTube? Princess Gummy Bear or something like that. I'll post the link below to her channel. But I really wanted this, and I actually really loved this book. I've already posted a review, and I'll leave a link to it below. I found this book, which I was freaking so excited about, and it is Unholy by Neil Shusterman. Now, I do not own the first one, nor have I read it, but I just happened to pick this one up, and it is signed, yeah. That made me pretty excited, and it actually was the only one that was signed that was sitting there. I don't know why they had a whole stack and only one was signed, but I was not passing that up. Picked up The Death of Bees by Lisa O'Donnell. I know this is about 2 kids. I believe their parents die and maybe they bury them in the backyard, and I think the next door neighbor sees them or notices that they're alone, and I don't know what happens after that. I think I saw that or heard that somewhere. The 5 Flavors of Dumb by Anthony John. This is about a deaf girl who I believe is new in school, and she's trying to prove herself, so she has to get this band booked for a concert. However, she's deaf, so obviously that's the twist in the story. Also found Hex Hall by Rachel Hawkins. This is in absolutely perfect condition. I have not read this, I think it's a trilogy yet, but I've heard really good things about it, and I've never read anything about witches, I don't think, so this will be new ground for me. And the last book from that trip is Boy Meets Boy by David Levithan. I talked about this in my August wrap-up. This is a crazy book. Obviously, I've already read it. There is a review up on my blog, and I will leave a link to it below also. Yeah, it's super little, very, very interesting book. And the last stack of books I got, which is even bigger than that stack of books, was from a library book sale. And this was the first library book sale that I have ever been to, and oh, I went crazy. They had $1 juvenile hardcover books and 25-cent paperbacks, I believe was what it was. And I figured out how to take the plastic covering off all the hardcovers, so you can't even tell that's what they were. But I picked up Darkest Mercy by Melissa Marr. This is the final book in the Wicked Lovely series. I do own the first and I believe the second one, or maybe just the first one, I don't even remember. But, I mean, perfect condition hardcover book for $1. I was not going to pass that up. I purchased Lost by Jackie Morse Kessler. This is the Riders of Apocalypse series. That's really hard to see. Oh, there we go. That is shiny. I don't know if I have to read these in a certain order or if it's okay to read these out of order, because I believe that they're all just companion novels, but these are all about Riders of the Apocalypse. This kid in this book, I believe, is in charge of like disease and widespread sickness and stuff, but if you know if I had to read these in order or not, let me know in the comments. I picked up Slide by Jill Hathaway. I've heard some okay things about this book on Goodreads. However, I don't think I've ever actually seen anybody talk about it on YouTube. So yeah, I believe she can, yeah, Slide, she sees through the eyes of a killer. She like falls asleep, I think, and every time she does that, she goes into the eyes of a killer. I picked up Ashes by Joe Treggieri. If I'm not mistaken, I actually haven't heard some very good things about this book, but I couldn't pass it up for 25 cents. It's obviously in a post-apocalyptic type book, which I do really like those, so we'll just have to see how that goes. Buried by Linda Joyce Singleton. I actually do not know what this is about, but the back here says, my finger slides over the groove and I dig my purple-tipped nail inside, jabbing and twisting until I hear a click. The lock splits in two halves and swings open. I stare in astonishment as a silky black curl falls into my hand. I hear a plaintive cry that sounds as far away as a moment lost in time. I think of the sarcophagus and death closing in. My chest tightens with horror, and I know with certainty this curl was cut from a dead body. So, yeah, that was rather intriguing. So, 25 cents again, went ahead and picked it up. Picked up Push by Sapphire. I believe this is about a young African-American girl growing up, and I guess, I don't know, things are really bad for her maybe. I know it won an award for the motion picture, so, but I've never seen it either. I also picked up the first two books in the Curse Workers series or trilogy, I'm not sure, but by Holly Black, and this is White Cat and Red Glove. Again, these are in absolutely perfect condition. The fourth book in the Blue Bloods series, the Van Allen Legacy. This is the fourth book, and I do own the first three, but they're in paperback, but getting this for such a deal, it's actually not really bothering me that much that they're different. I also picked up Waiting by Carol Lynch Williams. I do own another book by her, which I hadn't realized until I started putting these all on the bookshelf. but I actually don't know what this book is about. But it's so, like, little. Let's see if you can see that. It's such a tiny little book. But that stood out to me because this one actually did not have the plastic cover on it already. I picked it up just nice and new like this. And this last book, guys, oh, nostalgia, no joke. I saw this and I freaked out, and it is in, like, not very good condition. It's ripped. I didn't take the plastic covering off of it because I wanted it like this. And it is I Saw Esau, the School Child's Pocketbook, edited by Iona and Peter Opie. This book, I used to get this book all the time when I was in elementary school. Oh, I checked this out so much. I loved this book. And then I accidentally got it banned from the library because there are some, not so nice pictures in here, I guess you could say. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, I don't know if you can see what's wrong with that little boy in the window. But yeah, so I accidentally told my friend's mom about it. Well, not accidentally. I just told my friend's mom about it. I was like, hey, look at this picture. And yeah, that was the last time I saw that book in the library. But so I absolutely had to pick this up. And I was immediately reading it, like, in the car when I was waiting for my friend later that day. But that is all I got from that 1 week. That was just from 1 week. So if you want to see part 2, I will leave a link for it below.